It's unavoidable. Our environment and man's impact on that environment is front-page news. Oil spilled in and on our waters, trash washing up on our beaches, pollution in our air, all affecting our quality of life. For the rest of this century, that quality of life will be dramatically affected by three things: a huge increase in world population, a relentless hunger for more and more energy, and how we care for or fail to care for this fragile environment. More people means more shipping. And if no environmental action is taken, emissions from global shipping will double over the next 40 years. More shipping will require more fuel. The prices and availability of energy to run our fleets will be under increasing pressure. And the maritime industry will have an ever greater impact on the environment. More fuel and energy consumed, increased potential for contamination, and a bigger carbon footprint. Abusing the environment has consequences. Ships detained, companies fined, seafarers losing their jobs and even facing imprisonment. The good news is the maritime industry is responding with new practices and policies to extend energy efficiency and to protect our environment, from improved hull designs to more efficient engines and stricter regulations.
It starts with the small things every day, like turning off the lights. It's good housekeeping.
Seafarers have always been conscious of their environment and the effect ships and their crews have on that environment.
The whole aspect of the marine industry right now is green. We have to promote environmental stewardship on board, from a very grassroots level.
Today, individual flag states and ports are imposing their own strict rules on what can and can't be emitted from ships. And the international maritime community has agreed on a set of aggressive standards prohibiting marine pollution, MARPOL. MARPOL has 6 major sections or annexes. Annex 1 strictly regulates oil pollution, both from cargo and from operations. Annexes 2 and 3 regulate pollution from harmful substances carried in either liquid or packaged form. MARPOL Annexes 4 and 5 regulate pollution from human sources, sewage and garbage. And Annex 6 regulates air pollution from ships, especially sulfur oxide and nitrogen oxide, known as SOx and NOx, and airborne pollution from incineration, burning waste.
The MARPOL starts from crew cabins, that how you dispose your garbage. It goes to the decks, it goes to the engine room, it goes to everywhere in all aspects in your behavior, that how you manage how clean you keep your cabins. It starts from there.
At the end of the day, we in the office generate and motivate best practice, best environmental behaviors. But the practitioners are seafarers, the people on the ships.
Marine litter creates millions in cleanup costs, in fouled fishing nets, and damage to propellers and other ships' machinery. Unsightly litter impacts tourism, a huge industry, and is destructive to marine life, especially depositing microplastics into the marine food chain.
Separate your garbage and waste disposals. Food, recyclables, and waste. Then make sure it's disposed of properly. Many wastes will need to be disposed of in port through land-based disposal systems.
We are always looking at trying to meet best practice standards, not only to comply with legislation, but also from a perspective of customer focus and satisfaction.
One of the best ways to cut down on marine pollution and emissions is to use energy more efficiently. Poorly maintained equipment and inefficient procedures create unnecessary pollution. Energy efficiency is good for the environment, certainly, but it also has two other distinct advantages. First, it can improve overall ship's operations, and second, it's simply good business. It saves money. Designers are making energy-efficient improvements in the way ships' hulls are designed and the way propellers can operate more efficiently.
One of the big things that we're trying to do, and it's not easy, is just good engineering practices, best engineering practices, maintaining equipment as per its design.
Energy efficiency depends on human performance too. Ships can be navigated around weather and conditions that waste fuel and stress machinery. Energy efficiency begins with improving the performance of the systems already in place. This means minimizing the loss of heat and energy with proper insulation, regular inspections, maintenance, and cleaning.
Repair any torn or frayed insulation immediately. If you strip away any insulation and make a repair, replace it in good condition.
Don't let things get dirty. If we have an oil leak, stop the oil leak. If we can make an oil trace go down a drain which goes to an oil tank rather than a tank that's mixed with water, so much the better.
Energy monitoring promotes efficiency, performance and use of auxiliary engines, reducing use of boilers and economizers where possible, optimizing fuel tank heating and fuel temperature to avoid overheating and improve performance. This is the nerve center of a 21st century engine room. Many of the engine efficiencies are computer monitored. Machinery performance is monitored. Fuel use is monitored, such as this fuel tank heating system. The point being that energy and machines are used only as needed to eliminate waste.
The reason for that is cost. Every ship owner wants to be more efficient because it costs a huge amount of money to put fuel on your ship.
And new rules taking effect in 2013 will emphasize more energy efficiency. An energy efficiency design index for new ships under construction, and a ship energy efficiency management plan required for vessels over 400 tons.
Annex 5, prevention of pollution by garbage. I hope everybody...
Shipboard best practices require constant communication among officers and crew, reviewing regulations, troubleshooting, problem solving.
You should be comfortable giving feedback to your officers and crew members on ways to save energy and to protect the environment.
Never underestimate the importance of the housekeeping basics, being shipshape.
Housekeeping is not only relating to your kitchen, your galley, or your cabin, but also housekeeping with regard to your stores keeping, your engine room cleanliness, handling of leakages, reducing them, addressing them, nipping them in the bud.
Make it personal. Start with your own cleanliness, your own cabin, and your own work area.
If the decks aren't clean, that's your first impression. Your seamanship is in question right away. If I walk into the accommodation and I see that the deck heads are dirty, they're yellow, they're orange, there's dust everywhere, there's dirt in the corners of the deck, the floors haven't been recently waxed, I know that I've got a problem. Yeah?
This is a process of continuing to improve. It can make for a productive and happy ship. But in the end, it's the law.
In summary, remember these key points. Environmental pollution dramatically affects our quality of life and costs us millions of dollars to police and clean up. MARPOL and other environmental regulations set high standards and can impose penalties for non-compliance. Energy efficiency helps the environment and saves money. And individuals can make a difference, one step at a time. This means you. Environmental awareness is the maritime industry's 21st century business model, promoting energy efficiency, environmental best practices, and the health of individual seafarers. It's also simply good business, and it begins with each of us assuming individual responsibility, one step at a time.